Hi everyone, excited to be here today. Lisa has done a great job, as well as Sarah, getting me organized. I only have 20 minutes and I have a lot of information to share to save some time for your questions. So if you don't mind, I'm going to pop this mic out and be able to see what I'm talking to you about. Like Steve said, I've been on the project now for almost 6 years, which is hard to believe. And you all have a lot of questions for me, I'm certain, and you deserve a lot of answers. I have about 21 slides here I'm going to talk through quickly. I can come back to any of these slides and point out specifics. Generally, my photos are very current, as in the last 2 weeks. And I'll point out where they're not current, and they're strategically placed that way as I build these presentations for each interview or each presentation. So just a quick overview. I'm going to talk to you about all the construction progress from the north side of the project to the south side of the project, get into the elements of the bridge at the precast yard and the cable stay bridge, and then take your questions. So I always like to talk about the project in sections, as the Lexington team here is very familiar. The North Roadworks area impacts North Beach, leads up to the north approach, which is like the runway leading up to the bridge that passes over the ship channel, our precast yard and batch plant out in Robstown, which is now completely shut down because all of those operations were completed at the beginning of this year. And then our South Roadworks, our south approach that leads up from Whataburger Field to the very complex south interchange, which we'll talk about. Sorry, I'm a little bit wonky with this microphone, but if anybody can't hear me, just wave me down. So I'm going to jump back over to North Beach and talk about the North Approach Bridge, 3,756 feet. The total bridge length from end to end when you go to walk it is about 11,000 feet. So that'll be just about 4.2 miles walking round trip. You can really see right now, this photo is from a couple of weeks ago. We've advanced the ball quite a bit on finalizing the connection at the northern limits of the project, where we tie in 181 to the new bridge, and you can see how the alignment takes shape with the existing harbor bridge. As I get into this presentation, it's really important that you all know, in a very short time, we're going to open the southbound lanes of the bridge, and then soon after, depending on weather, the northbound lanes of the bridge. But there will be a time when we have the new bridge open that the old harbor bridge will be open for access to North Beach only. The reason we have to keep the old harbor bridge open for about 6 weeks is because we have to complete this alignment and tie-in of 181. So if you're leaving Corpus to get to North Beach, you're going to have to take the old bridge. As soon as we open the southbound lanes of the new bridge, the southbound lanes of the old bridge will close immediately. I had to have a little fun with this last night, guys. I love the four-way start that you have to your meeting. Is it the truth? Jim talked about Facebook, so I sent Lisa a revised presentation last night because I saw this post on Facebook, and I don't really acknowledge media that isn't credible, but I have to say, there was some comments about this being a situation where there was a crack. If you'll look at the line that I drew last night, there's weep holes in each one of these segments for drainage. We still have work going on inside of these spans. These spans are fully being accessed to complete drainage inside, illumination inside. This particular line that I circled is right next to one of our expansion joints, and it's right over the railroad track where we have to go through a permission process to access that to kind of clean that up. So please don't have any concerns. This is not a crack. This is a weep hole for drainage, and if you look at the right, it's segments. They're in each one of the segments. So kind of staying with North Beach, just talking about connectivity. North Beach is going to change quite significantly in the coming weeks. Right now we had to have a use of that flyover bridge. Once we turn the frontage road, heading southbound frontage road into one-way, there will be a full one-way frontage road heading south, and the northbound frontage road as well. Steve, we're going to open the connectivity under Burleson. That will reopen this fall once the old bridge is completely, that part of the old bridge comes down, and that'll be done in phases as well. So just a lot of activity. Here on the left, we added 3 additional drainage retention ponds just to kind of help with some of that displacement of water near Bridgeport as well when you get the high rains. Jumping across the ship channel, here's our South Approach Bridge. Recent photo on the right, 3,780 feet long. Here at the bottom left is where you'll access the shared use path from the south side of the project. At Lake Street and Sam Rankin. We have access will be on North Beach later once we finish the alignment. The shared use path will initially open only to the halfway point, as like I said, we have to complete the alignment on 181 to allow pedestrians to continue all the way to North Beach, and bicyclists as well. I also want to point out the Salt Flat Channel that you see running alongside the north approach. That was a huge undertaking with this project. We quadrupled the capacity for that drainage that kind of flows from the low-lying area around Leopard and Mestina Street. A lot of environmental best practices in place to capture any kind of sedimentation, or if there was a potential oil spill or a chemical spill. We have a full-time PhD biologist on the project who's right next to my office who monitors all of these concerns as well. So here's a rendering of what the South Interchange will look like. I do post photos on our website, our Facebook page regularly, where you can go and see updated photos. Here's where we were in 2021. Lots of transitions going on here. A lot of the work that I do has to do with traffic coordination, notifying the media and the public on when we're going to do closures. We do work very hard to mitigate that impact to commuters with those closures at night and shorter shifts. So here's where we are this week this photo was taken on Tuesday. The South Interchange is complete. Again, we're finishing the connectivity. So when we go to open the new bridge, like I said, it will be phased. I can't give you the exact date yet, but first we're going to open southbound, and then we have the southbound for North Beach, and then we have to switch over to this side of the project and complete this access to get northbound from 286 onto the new bridge. I get a lot of questions about connectivity. How are we going to get leaving coming across the new bridge to get to the Bayfront area? There's going to be a temporary configuration. Now, this is a TxDOT configuration because we're a TxDOT project and we use TxDOT roadways. There's other ways to get to the Bayfront coming off of the new bridge. This is going to be our temporary route. You're going to come off the new bridge and you're going to take the first connector ramp. You're going to make an immediate exit U-turn at Nueces Bay Boulevard, and then you're going to continue straight towards the Bayfront. Right here is what the final configuration will look like. Once we can't put this in final configuration until we remove all of the connectivity from the old bridge, because we can't merge onto the heading southbound on 37 until we remove all the connectivity and the abatement from the old bridge. But the final configuration will be, you're going to take the southbound, you're going to take that second loop ramp, and then you're going to go to the left to get onto a ramp for 37. Once we open the new bridge, the loop ramp will open, and that'll provide immediate access to Staple Street corridor. So if you're coming from North Beach or Portland, you'll take that second exit for the loop ramp, and then you'll continue to Staple Street corridor if you're trying to access City Hall or the courthouse area. Another question I get a lot is, how are we going to leave the Bayfront area to get towards Portland or North Beach? So we don't have it open yet. On the bottom left, you can see the ramp. That's the entrance to that ramp starts just east of the Staple Street Bridge. That ramp will open once we go to open the new bridge, the northbound lanes. You'll pay attention to signage. We have new permanent signage and temporary signage in place as we are going through different configurations of that project. And you'll see in the video I'm going to show you how the new overhead signage is why we have so many closures going on right now to install the last of the signage. So just kind of getting back into more of the construction elements, this is a photo from last year. We completed 2,651 of these segments to make up the approach bridges and the cable stay bridge. Each one of them had to have its own transportation with the full police escort coming to and from Robstown. No issues at all, but there was significant traffic control in place. I was talking to someone earlier about, it was Miss Massey, about Legos. I use that term often about how these were cast side by side as if they were a Lego set, and the precision of how they were cast. And remarkably, the engineering of that is how we came to meet in the middle within inches of our anticipated tolerance when we placed the last segments. Some of you may have seen this before, but I like to show this video. You've probably noticed how much taller the new bridge is and how far you can see it from different vantage points around the city, but it really does dwarf what is the current Harbor Bridge. This is a photo from a couple weeks ago when we still had a little construction on the bridge, but you can really see from this vantage point how high, how much taller that navigational clearance is added for larger ships coming through. Just some more statistics. I did bring everyone, please take with you if you want a piece of history on the new Harbor Bridge. a piece of cable. They're in these white buckets back here. I think I brought 100 pieces, so take one or two with you. We have over 1,600 miles end to end of this epoxy-coated strand that support the bridge deck in these individual cables. There's 19 sets of cables on each tower. There's 4 cables in a set, 2 backspan and 2 main span. I get asked often, what happens if you had to do a replacement? It's unexpected, but if there's an incident or a major impact on the bridge, there's so much redundancy built into this bridge, and it was built in a balanced cantilever method that we can go inside the bridge spans underneath and replace anything as necessary without having to close traffic. I can get into the technical aspects of this slide for an hour, but I'm going to keep moving. Another current photo, the bridge has been structurally complete for months. You can see in this photo the tower caps are on. We have probably 1,000 vehicles traversing the bridge daily, myself included. In fact, one of my friends who I've gotten to know, never met in person, but he's one of the Waze apps user generators, and he kind of controls the Waze apps if anybody you use that on your phone. And he laughed at me one time. He said, you know, all of your folks who are using the Waze app when they're driving the bridge that's not open yet are actually helping me populate these maps. So I thought that was kind of neat technology. We've actually completed most of the painting, just doing some touch-up painting, ready to open. I know everyone wants to know when we're opening. I'll get into that in a second. Just also want to touch on the aesthetic lighting. We have done some mock trial lighting of the aesthetics. You can see those on the left. That's not our goal right now to turn on the lighting. All the traffic lighting and the street lighting is complete. If you're driving across the Old Harbor Bridge at night, you can see it's ready for traffic. The aesthetic lighting will come in the coming months. Right now, our deliverable to TxDOT is to get the bridge open and to be safe for commuters at night. Coming soon, though, later this year will be all of the neat programmable aesthetic lighting. I don't want to hear myself breathing. This is another photo, a rendering, and this is where we're at now. We have this completed Belvedere lookout area. We'll have 2 telescopes positioned on it. We actually had them installed this week, but we removed them because we had to raise them. We'll have 4 of these trail maps on one by each of the parking lot on the north and the south side to access the trailheads at the bridge. We're installing this weekend a bench seating on top of inside that Belvedere lookout area as well. So the shared use path, everyone's very interested in that. A lot of safety features on this bridge. It's 10 feet wide. There's 2 shoulders each northbound and 2 10-foot wide shoulders southbound, which is something we don't have on the current Harbor Bridge. Sarah? So I'm just going to talk you through this. The video is about 5 minutes, and I'll stop talking before it's over and start getting into some of the questions. Here's where you're leaving the Bayfront area, heading down 37 towards Calallen. Up there on the left, that'll be ultimately the ramp that we tie into 37 coming off the bridge to access the Bayfront area. Right here on the right is the ramp that you're going to get on to go northbound on the new bridge, leaving the Bayfront area to get towards Portland. So right here is that route, and we'll actually be striping that this weekend. So that'll be finished this weekend. You can really see kind of the complex interchange coming up here. The one loop ramp on the right is open to traffic to access southbound 37, and the one on the left is ready to go once we open the new bridge. So as we're getting into this, I can't give you an exact date of when we're opening the new bridge. It will come. That announcement will come any day now. It's very, very soon. We are having a dignitary sort of ribbon cutting event on Saturday the 28th for the kind of state level, high level elected officials who helped kind of fund this project and push it through. But details will be coming soon on that announcement for opening. What I can tell you is please follow local media. They're getting all my traffic advisories. It's all going to happen very quickly. Drive slowly when you start preparing for new traffic patterns. I'm working on maps, visuals that I'm sharing. I'm asking you to look at the overhead signage, the apps that some people use, Waze or Apple Maps, are also updating quickly as well. So this is just kind of an overview. This project has 22 total bridges, and we're 6.5 miles of roadway reconstruction. So it's a very complex project beyond the scope of the new Harbor Bridge. So here we go. Our limits are just all the way north of Nueces Bay Boulevard. Here we are down near Agnes Laredo, heading north to the alignment that will be, let's see where we're at, I just lost myself. No, we're heading, yeah, this is the city, that's Comanche, that's La Paz. We've already come past Comanche. We're heading over towards northbound. No, this is actually Comanche coming up. So this will be a straight shot. If anyone lives on the far south side of town and you're going towards Portland or taking that route to Houston, you're just going to have a straight shot coming on and off of the bridge that will transition from 181 into 286 across town. So I'll just kind of let you keep looking at this. This really does conclude. I tried to go through a lot quickly because I know you have some questions. Happy to start taking questions along the way here. Yes?
The Belvedere you talked about?
Yes.
Is there any kind of barrier there? It looked like it's open. Surely you don't allow people to throw things off.
No, there's a 10-foot wide pedestrian fencing that arches inward. So I guess if you really wanted to toss something up and over 10 feet, you could, but that would be kind of tragic, wouldn't it? But yes, there's a 10-foot wide pedestrian protective fencing at those higher elevations.
Okay.
Tricia?
You called it the New Harbor Bridge. Is that the name?
That's our name. We're building it. That's our name. Yes. I'm sorry, she was back there.
Lynn, you said when the bridges came together, you were within inches?
Yes.
How many inches, and is that now a speed bump?
No. There's expansion joints throughout the bridge. You wouldn't know the transition. I mean, it's right in the middle at the Belvedere. You wouldn't know that transition at all. It's truly remarkable how smooth it is to drive on this bridge. And it's a concrete surface from end to end. It's a concrete bridge.
Have you driven it?
Many times. I'll be up there tomorrow as well, but many times.
You know how many inches you were off?
So vertically and horizontally, if both were under an inch.
Oh.
And we had tolerances of extremely more than that to make, with geometry and control in place, which is typical for a balanced cantilever bridge construction. Yes, ma'am.
How long will it be before the Old Harbor Bridge comes
Good. I meant to touch on that too. So we'll be, as soon as we open the new bridge, like I said, there will be about 6 weeks. So by August, should be the latest, we'll completely close the Old Harbor Bridge. All of the pre-stage engineering, we're working with 3 companies who have done the deconstruction of these types of bridges in the middle of highly populated areas, in the middle of high tourist areas. So that'll start immediately. The main span will come down first. All the engineering's been pre-staged. It'll be lowered onto a barge dock this fall. And then the rest of the bridge will come down in conventional methods. And we have through the spring of 2026 to complete all of that removal and of all the connectivity and complete the final tie-in of all the final configuration. Yes, sir. I'm coming, I promise.
Could you confirm that on North Beach, there'll be Beach Avenue will run one way to the beach and Gulf Spring will run the other way, or how's it going to be?
I'm not sure, sir. That's a city street, so we only have that intersection right there at the frontage road, so I'm not sure what that configuration is.
Okay.
Yeah, this young lady here had a question first.
Where is the parking and access area if you wanted to walk?
Okay, let me flip back to that because it's in, yep, so let's see. So this right here is the parking lot for the south entrance. We rebuilt this Lake Street as part of the connectivity for the neighborhood area. The city will be taking over that area to build T. Sears Park. It's really a pretty area. As I mentioned the salt flat channel earlier, so you can take that, park in that spot, walk around to the entrance over there at Lake Street and Sam Rankin, but walking over this drainage salt flat channel is really beautiful. There's all kinds, we had to do a relocation of fish as we were doing a dewatering, and we found turbot, baby redfish, crabs, all kinds of neat saltwater fish, and there's roseate spoonbills in there that come periodically. It's just a really pretty area. And then on the north side of the project, it's beneath the north approach. Let's see. That parking lot is in this general area beneath the north approach, and they both have 36 parking places. Yes, sir?
If I'm going from Portland
So Portland to Laredo, you have a couple of options. You can continue to Morgan and come back around on that Staple Street, or you can exit the loop ramp to Staple Street, and you can take Staple Street to Laredo Street.
The exit that is presently being used is not going to be used anymore.
Which exit?
From downtown to, let's say, Robstown.
Leaving downtown to Robstown, you're going to go down 37. That's a straight shot. 286. 286 loop ramp will be as is. To access the 286 loop ramp, you'll be able, once we close the southbound lanes at the old bridge, immediately we're going to shift traffic over to where you can either access that loop ramp to get to 286, or you can access the ramp to the frontage road for the new bridge heading north. It sounds more complicated than it is. It's once you get there, it's going to be intuitive. You're going to see signage. I get that question a lot, though. It is understandably, because you can't really tell, because right now we've still got all the traffic coming off the Harbor Bridge. Yes. Oh my goodness. I need help, Sarah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier about the deconstruction of the existing Harbor Bridge. Is there any plan to use any of that material beneficially for, it's so close to the waters?
Yeah, thank you. I had twitchy thumbs this morning when I heard the gentleman talking about that on the Blake Fearenfold show. There's a lot of misinformation about that. I've certainly been contacted, as has been TxDOT, by the GLO and different environmental groups who are certainly all my friends as a local. There is recycling. Everything will be recycled. That's part of our contract with our subcontractors, but no, it won't be used as a local breakwater or retaining wall. There's a variety of environmental reasons and associated costs with that as well. It won't be repurposed as part of another bridge, which I've also heard. Yes?
Would you talk about drainage on the new bridge?
Mhm.
I'm aware the old Harbor Bridge in a heavy rainstorm was capable of dumping water from a couple hundred feet, and if your car happened to be parked right under there, you might need a new paint job.
So let me see if I can find a picture with our drain pipes that are coming down. It's really hard to see without being able to zoom in, but project-wide, not just on the bridge. Like I said, we have 22 total bridges. Essentially, every skipped set of piers has drain pipe coming down it. You'll see it coming along. There's several capture points. We call them scuppers. On the new bridge, there's drainage flows through inside the spans, inside the segments, and there's 10, 12, and 8-inch PVC pipe that drains down at different intervals on the pipes. And then where we're over the ship channel, where there's no piers, again, there's capture points that funnels it down to those piers. But it won't come down, pouring down off the bridge deck. Yes, ma'am? In the back? Yes?
Do you know if the city is gonna restart the monthly bridge walk?
I don't know. That bridge won't be open for long on the old bridge. So if you have a chance to do it, I'd hurry up. Yes?
So I know the reason why the original bridge was shut down was the maintenance headache for TxDOT.
Because of the what?
Maintenance headache, like they have to paint it and
Oh,
maintain it.
it's, the old bridge has never been shut down. They maintain it routinely, but
I
yes.
understand, but that was a headache for them. So that's
Okay.
why they're.
Mhm. It has exceeded its lifespan, for sure.
And so, what type of maintenance would be needed for the new bridge and is TxDOT being trained up for that?
A lot of questions in one. Yes, yes, and yes. We have, actually, the company I work for, Flatiron Dragados, as part of our scope of work, has a 25-year maintenance contract on this project. That includes all of the main thoroughfares, drainage, signalization, I believe will go to the city, the lighting features, but absolutely, we have a whole a second crew coming in once we move out and have given final acceptance to TxDOT. As far as training, I mean, TxDOT works alongside us on this project every day, so they're as familiar with it, if not more. This is their project. So yes, maintenance is a consideration. That's part of our contract for the next 25 years with oversight from TxDOT. Yes, ma'am?
As you're pulling the old bridge down, will the quarry perhaps be closed?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So we're lowering it, the main span. A lot of pre-engineering will go into that. It's already been in the works. We've already had stakeholder meetings with Mr. Hogan and some of the impacted folks on North Beach. But it will get lowered, and we only have a 48-hour window, and it might have even changed to 36 hours, or that's what we proposed was 36 hours. So we only have 36 hours, I believe, that we'll have the ship channel closed. You can imagine the commerce that comes through there. A lot of pre-planning going into it.
So you just kind of cut it in half?
It's lowered, yeah, it's more complex than that, but that's kind of what it's gonna look like.